You're listening to episode number 95 of the Transform Your Life from the Inside Out podcast. In this episode, I talk about the power of your morning ritual. This is very powerful, so stay tuned. Hi, I'm Jim Fortin, and you're about to start transforming your life from the inside out with this podcast. I'm widely considered the leader in subconscious transformation, and I've coached super achievers all around the world for over 25 years. Here, you're going to find no rah-rah motivation and no hype, because this podcast is a combination of brain science, transformational psychology, and ancient wisdom all rolled into one to take your life to levels you've never thought possible. If you're wanting a lot more in life, to feel better, to heal, to have peace of mind, to feel powerful and alive, and to bring more abundance and prosperity into your life, then this podcast is for you, because you're going to start learning how to master your mind and evolve your consciousness. And when you do that, anything you want then becomes possible for you. I'm glad you're here. Okay, before I start this episode, I just want to be transparent. I could say that I'm a bit under the weather today, and that would not be true. I am really under the weather today. And the reason why is not because I'm under the weather. It's even affecting my languaging, as you may tell, is, I mentioned in the podcast many times that I work with a shaman. And that's not an analytical thing. It's not a left brain thing. Even though he teaches me, and I've learned quite a bit over the years, I can feel energy. And I'm just being very transparent and very open. And I'm okay with that because I think I attract a large crowd of people that are more progressive, awakened, spiritual in nature, seeking involvement in consciousness. So if I said that today was hell, that would be an understatement. I mean, it's been a really energetic, very, very, very challenging day. And the reason I tell you that is because I may stumble a bit through the podcast. I may have a hard time getting things out. I'm talking a lot slower. And so I'm moving very, very slow today. That being said, maybe there are even some of you that can, resonate with me, and many of you that are very, possibly very sensitive to energy as well. I would say that I'm what would be called clairsentient, meaning I can feel. And when energy changes on the planet, when we got solar flares, when energy days are very, very intense, very challenging days for me. And my sister, married to the shaman, texted me this morning, and she goes, "I'm afraid to ask how you're doing today," because she goes, "I had a really, bad night of insomnia." And I said, "Well, I did too. I fell asleep at 9 a.m. this morning. So I'm dragging. I'm not asking, looking for any pity or any of that. I'm just letting you know why my rhythm may be off in this episode." Okay, I want to talk about the power of your morning ritual. And many of you don't even have a ritual. And I learned this a long time ago. It's so interesting that I started talking about how I'm feeling today and working with a shaman. I learned this from my brother-in-law, the shaman, many, many years ago. But before I go there, Jim Rohn said, he's known as America's business philosopher. Jim Rohn said, "Never start your day until you finish your day on paper." And I say, never start your day until you have finished it in your mind, until you have set your intent. Now, given the way that I feel, this is going to be a very short episode, but it's also going to be a very powerful episode for you if you listen to what I'm sharing with you and you start practicing this. What I'm going to share with you, it applied to me many, many years ago. And what I mean is that so many of us wake up in the morning and we let the world take us away. I mean, the second we open our eyes, literally, the second we, our alarm goes off, we open our eyes, boom, the world grabs us and off we go. And when I say the world grabs us, many people sleep with their cell phone by their bed. They check their email, they're checking their Instagram, their Facebook, their LinkedIn, whatever it is, their email. And they're engaged in the world right away. The world just takes you, boom. And before you know it, the whole day's gone by. It's at nighttime, and you've literally just gone through your entire day. And you've done a lot of it on autopilot. I do want to say that And I understand that, by the way. I do want to say that I start my days in silence. Now, there's two kinds of silence. One is internal silence in your mind, and the second is the silence in your environment. And at the very least, it helps if you can to start your day with at least silence in your environment. Now, I do understand that many of you, you've got kids, and it's hard. I totally get that. However, it's vital that you start your day with you. I want to repeat that. It's vital that you start your day with you and not the world coming to get you and take you and just, zoom, you're off for the day. I learned this long ago from my brother-in-law, Don Javier, is that the most important thing that we can do is that we can set our intent, and we use our intent to create what we want in life. The power of intention. Many of you have probably heard of it before, but look at it this way. If the world comes and gets you right away in the morning, what have you done with setting your intention for the day? The world comes and grabs you by the collar and takes you away. What have you, done to set your intention for the day? So for me, my morning, now again, I understand that many of you have kids and this is not possible for you. And I'll talk about that in just a moment. I start my day in what I call my healing room. And in that room, it's in my house, obviously. And in that room, I have artifacts, very, very, what I consider to be very powerful spiritual tools and artifacts from all over the world. Power spots that I've been to, like Chichen Itza and Teotihuacan, Uluru and Chaco Canyon, etc. These are all power spots on the planet. And this room, it may look like a meditation space to some people, but again, I call it a healing room. And this is a sacred space for me, meaning I don't wear any shoes in there. There's no pets, no guests go in there. And I literally keep it as a sacred space for me. I do understand that for many of you, this is not feasible. And I get it. I get it completely. However, what you may want to do is create a little space for yourself where you can just sit and get silent every single morning for just a bit. Now, what I do is I go in the room and I get quiet and I sit, and like now, I sit in silence. And what I do also is I set my intention for the rest of the day or what I want for the day. And I get very clear on my intention. And when I say very clear, I can see it, I can hear it, I can feel it. Here is what I'm casting out to the universe. Here is what I'm creating today. It is my intention to create this. Now, for example, you can use this in any area of your life, but for example, traveling. Now, before I give you that example, you may have been hearing me mention that on March the 5th, I'm going to be doing a training, which is called the Be Do Have series. There's no charge. Mark your calendar, and more details will be coming your way for the Be Do Have series on March the 5th. Okay, so traveling, back to the example that I was giving you. So let's say that I'm traveling, and I'm in my healing room that morning. What I do is I go in there, and I set my intent for safe travel. And I imagine that my Uber, my Lyft, my driver, whatever, takes me to the airport safely and I get there safely. I imagine that I hop on my plane, that wherever I'm going, I get there safely. I onboard the plane. I'm there safely. I travel to my hotel safely. And the entire time that I'm there, I'm safe. And then again, I imagine that I hop back on the plane, travel back to Dallas, and I imagine walking in my back door. And the dog, I've got dogs, as you may know. They come up and they greet me, and you know how dogs are. Many of us are dog lovers. The dogs come up, they greet me, and I am back home safely. So I'm setting my intent that I am going to travel safely, and I set my intent as if it is already done, meaning it's already happened. Okay, how can you use this? What do you want to set your intent for? Travel, like me. Maybe you've got a meeting this afternoon and you want the meeting to go well. Maybe you're going to meet with somebody and you want to set your intent with how you want the meeting to go. Maybe you have some kind of event going on and you want the event to go in a certain way. Literally, you can use your intent and set it any way you want for anything that you want to create in your life. But instead of just going through your days in 3D and physical body and all that, in the morning, slow down and stop and set your intent for what you want to happen today. I remember watching some, not all, but some of the final season of Oprah. And she was showing people around her apartment. And she said she walked by a table she had, looked like her living room or a den or something. And she had multiple things on that table. I don't know, different books, esoteric books, whatever they might be. And she said, I start my day right here. Every day, no matter whether it's 5 minutes or 15 minutes, this is where I start my day. So I'm asking you, if Oprah has time to do it, where and how can you start your day? 5 minutes, just sit down and set your intent for what you want to create for today. And also, keep it simple. And when I say keep it simple, your unconscious mind is connected to divine mind. Your mind works from intention, not from force. So when you set your intention, do not oh my God, I gotta have this. Do not do that. Just set your intent for what you want to create today, what outcomes you want, and then turn it over to the universe because you are part of divine mind. You are part of cosmic consciousness. So whatever you set into intent, literally, when you set your intent, you cast it out into the universe for like an energy mold for it to come back to you. Oh, yes, I wanted to mention, as you may or may not already know from listening to other episodes, on March the 5th, I'm going to be doing a no-charge training, and it's called the Be, Do, Have series. It's going to take a lot of what you've learned here in the podcast and start putting it together for you. So if you'd like to take what you're learning here and take it to the next level, then whatever you do, show notes, jimfortin.com, get registered for that training, mark your calendar, and make sure you're on that no-charge live training. Your transformational takeaway today is never start your day until you have finished your day in your mind. Never start your day until you have finished your day in your mind. Okay, thank you so much for listening. I apologize for struggling through and the challenges that I've had today. But you know what? Take the content, use it, and start setting your intent. Okay, thanks a lot. Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to this entire podcast. If you're the kind of person who likes to help others, then share this with your friends and family. If you found value, they will too. So please share via your social media channels. Also, if you have questions, I'm here to assist. You can email me questions to support@jimfortin.com, and I may even use your question for a future podcast episode. Also, if you want transformational content like this daily, connect with me on Instagram. My Instagram name is I am Jim Fortin. Finally, I do have a personal request. I believe that we're all here to help others and to grow and evolve ourselves. Together, you and I, let's help more people. If you would please leave a review on iTunes, and a good one by the way. I'd be grateful, and through your assistance together, we can transform more lives. Thanks for listening.